Hey everybody, we're back with another week of awesome information for you guys. Hopefully the audio is better this week. We have it fixed. Not saying that it won't crash in the middle, but who knows. So
That would be fun.
yeah, that would be fun. So last week we talked about overtraining, how I was overtraining, dealing with somewhat joint pain, dealing with sluggishness at the gym, all that kind of stuff. And today we're actually going to talk about how we fix overtraining if we do hit that point. But first, let's start off. How was Kelly's week?
My week has been pretty good. So we actually have a functioning toilet on our first floor for the first time in like 7 years.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So it's really exciting. And we're going on vacation tomorrow.
That's always good.
It is good. How about you? What's going on with you?
This week has been interesting. Getting in the diet was okay. Had a few slip ups here and there, but it's nothing like crazy. So I think it's just getting back into that routine of doing it again.
Right.
It's just a pain. But like myself, I'm very regimented. So sat down. I got my schedule together. So starting Monday, I'll be up at 4:30 again, doing that whole fun spiel. So that'll be good.
Well, yeah, and I think I even told you last week when we talked, maybe give yourself a little bit of like a fudge week this week, go a little easy on yourself.
Yeah, it was
tough
good
to make that transition.
Yeah, it was good. I didn't do any morning workouts. I think I did one day.
Right.
I'm like, I'll sleep until 6.
Right.
I'm going to sleep for a couple hours.
Right.
And get up. So, all right. So, like I said, we're talking about overtraining. How do we fix it? So, it should be a pretty interesting podcast today. So, Kelly, why don't you start us off?
Yeah. So, I mean, ideally, you're going to avoid overtraining, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to avoid overtraining altogether, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how to, if you find yourself in that situation where you're experiencing one of those 17 symptoms that we talked about in the last podcast, we're going to go through how to fix, quote unquote, fix overtraining. Just keep in mind that we are not doctors. We have to keep saying that we're not doctors. The information that we're presenting here is basically just for entertainment. Make sure that if you feel like you are overtraining or there's something wrong with you, go see your doctor. So anyway, rest and recovery are as much a part of a solid training program as the actual exercise. And I don't know, TJ, in your experience training people who like training athletes, do you find that like sometimes they just get into this more is better mentality?
I think I do, and I know they do. I know one of my clients, football player. I think he would train every day at the school, and then I would see him like 2 or 3 times a week on top of what he already did.
Wow.
So I mean, but the great thing about him, he was such a young kid.
Yeah.
So I mean, he was a teenager still in high school, so it might not have been too bad on him.
Age makes a huge difference. I will say that. So the younger you are, I think the better your body can handle that type of stress. But the older you get, and then you've got, you compound the stress of work, and if you have a family and a mortgage and, whatever else is going on in your life, and then you add excessive training on top of that and or dieting, you can start to experience those problems. And I've worked, the majority of people in this country, 70% or more are overweight or obese. So the majority of people aren't getting enough exercise, right?
Exactly.
But there are those people, and you know who you are. I've worked with them too. I worked with a lady one time, and all I wanted her to do was take a single rest day per week. And she's getting fractures, like hairline fractures in her shins from running.
Yeah.
And, and she's getting all of these like tendinitis issues and digestive issues. And I mean, she's clearly overtraining. I asked her during our coaching sessions to take 1 rest day per week, and she struggled to do that. Like, she literally just couldn't make that happen. She was somehow fearful of taking a day off, as if she was going to, and I really think it was a fear of gaining weight more than anything.
I think it's almost also that, as well as a fear of losing your momentum, because you're doing so well for so long. It's like, just like I was telling you, it's like, take a week off the gym. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And then just getting back into it. Once I get started next week in regimen, it's gonna be fine. But it's just getting back into the swing of things is just the hard part.
Absolutely. And I think for those people who have gotten into working out after not ever working out or not having worked out for a long time, I think that is a scary thing. Like they're afraid, oh man, if I take a break, I'm going to fall off the wagon.
Yeah. Yep.
But the fact of the matter is that if your training plan doesn't include regular rest days and at least 2 a week for an intense training program, you will end up overtraining. Once you begin experiencing symptoms, you are already in that danger zone. If you catch it early and address it, you probably won't need to take drastic measures. Like TJ, I think you might have been like getting to that point of maybe overtraining. You were starting to experience like some of the exhaustion. Performance was like
Yeah, it's like mental. It's like almost like mental and just
Right.
Physical fatigue.
Right.
Yeah, you're just done.
Generally, if you catch it early and you take a break like you should, then that'll sort of like allow your body to repair itself, and you won't like dig yourself into a hole deeper. Like I did when I was triathlon training. I just kept digging myself in, and when my performance started to suffer, I thought that I needed to work longer and harder,
Right.
which was not the solution. So and I think there's this culture of quote unquote push through the pain.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, you see that
I mean, there's a
sometimes.
lot of like YouTube people out there. I mean, like CT Fletcher, who's great, and it's like it's still your MF and set, and he's just there's no such thing as overtraining and everything.
Oh gosh,
That's that culture that he's cultivated over
Yeah.
years. I mean, what his work he does is great, but I think people sometimes will take that way to the extreme, maybe even past that point, and don't understand that. Sure, that's what he's doing now, but his body's breaking down right before our eyes. I mean, he's had like 2 open heart surgeries and all
Oh
this
my
other
God.
stuff. Just from maybe it's not from the exercise, but probably that plus poor diet. I'm not really sure, but people think that you can just go balls to the wall all the time, and you just can't.
Right, you can't. And I think I mentioned the last episode that you have to remember that a lot of the personalities and the athletes that you're seeing on TV or Instagram or whatever it may be, it's their job. So they don't have a job on top of their training schedule. So they have the time to train and sleep and eat the way that they need to, where most of us, average people, we have to work and do all this other stuff on top of
Exactly.
our training.
We have 14 to 16-hour working days, and then
Right.
you have like 8 hours to sleep.
Right.
If we're lucky.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think I've slept 8 hours in
I
a
mean,
while.
I don't have what do they say, au pair, the live-in nanny, and I don't have a personal chef, and I don't have my own. I have to be my own personal trainer, so I don't have a trainer telling me exactly what to do. So, again, if you don't have that, lifestyle where you're getting paid for that type of thing, I mean, your training schedule's going to have to probably look a little bit different. So when I quit triathlon training, though, I was way too far down this overtraining rabbit hole, and it took almost a year for my appetite to regulate and my energy levels to come back. And then it took my menstrual cycle like 2 years to reappear and another year to become regular. So, if you're headed down this path of over exercising and or dieting too much, use my stupidity as an example and don't let it get that far. So I said before, ideally you're going to avoid overtraining altogether. And I think we're going to go through just like a list of ways that you can do that. So I don't know if you want to lead us off on that, TJ.
So definitely want to listen to your body. I mean, your body's going to be the best person to tell you what's going on, especially if you're sore, overexhausted, and everything like that. So sleep is probably the number one thing to make sure you get plenty of. I know.
Have we done an episode on sleep?
We have not.
I think we need to do one.
Yeah, I think we will. But I think, let me see. I think I was getting like 6 hours of sleep a night.
Right.
For like 6 months.
Yeah.
And that was good. I mean, I was tired in the morning, but that was also because I was getting up early.
Right.
But I mean, that also doesn't help. But I did sleep in on the weekends. maybe, I don't know. It doesn't balance out. You can't catch up on sleep anyway. So
It has to be like if you're getting only 6 hours of sleep, I guess the main factor there is getting quality sleep because a
sure.
lot of people are sleeping, but they wouldn't call their sleep quality.
Yeah.
Like I said, we could really talk a lot about sleep, and there's lots of hacks to get better sleep. So I think we should do a podcast about sleep because it is so incredibly important. It is when your body repairs itself. So if you're training really hard and you're not sleeping well, you're going to start to run into some issues.
Right.
You should be taking at least one rest day per week. And if your training program is intense or you're putting in a lot of training hours, a minimum of 2 rest days might be necessary. And I wouldn't consider my current training program super intense, but I'm still currently taking 2 rest days a week because I just don't ever want to end up back where I was before. And the other thing I want to add to that is take real rest days. And this is mostly for those people who just tend toward being afraid of taking like a real rest day. Take your rest days more seriously because I know what would happen to me in the past was I would I would go into a rest day with the intention of not working out, and then I would go like to the park for a walk and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to run for a little bit." And then it turned into like a 6 mile jog or something like that. So take your rest days seriously and actually allow your body to rest.
All right, so let's see. Cut back on exercise, especially when you're feeling sick, you're over fatigued, you're under a lot of other life stress from work. You know, the kid blew up your house or something crazy, I guess, or you just haven't slept well. I mean, a lot of that stuff's just going to take effect on your body, even though you might not feel it right away. You know, exercising on top of that, it's not necessarily going to be the best thing, but at least take it even maybe back a few notches. If you have to go to the gym, just maybe lift a little lighter weights, cut your session down 15-20 minutes. That's definitely going to help avoid that overtraining thing that we're talking about.
Yeah, and again, most people who are going to get into that overtraining thing also have a little bit of those mental issues going on with with being fearful of taking rest days, or taking a break. And I remember one time specifically where I came down with the flu. And the day I started to get sick, I could feel that I was getting sick. I really didn't feel well. And I still decided that I was going to do a really intense interval workout on my bike. Oh my God, that evening, I mean, it was the worst flu I ever had. I was sick for 5 days. And, whether or not that training made it worse, I don't know. But what I will say is I knew I was getting sick, yet why did I exercise? I didn't need to. So again, keep that in mind. Cut back on exercise if you're not feeling well, or if your body's telling you you need to rest. The next thing would be rest at least 6 hours between workouts if you're doing 2-a-days. And I know for the average person, they're like, what? People do 2 workouts a day? Yes, people do 2 workouts a day depending on your training program and what you're training for. So you should ideally rest at least 6 hours between those workouts. What's next?
We got to eat enough calories to fuel your body properly for the activity you are doing. So if you're doing any kind of workout, we're not telling you to eat a gallon of ice cream before you do that workout because those aren't necessarily good nutrient dense foods. So obviously you want to fuel your body properly before you do anything. And if you even listen to us or listen to maybe advanced athletes, they're going to tell you, between eating, say, let's just, for example, eating chicken and rice and broccoli is what they're main, and then they switch to pizza for like a day, they feel like crap for 12 to 24 hours.
Right.
So your body will be like, what is this garbage you're feeding me?
Right.
And they're not going to perform well.
Yeah, and along with that, and the pre and post workout nutrition is really individual, and I think we could again, that would be another great topic for a podcast. I actually can't eat before workouts, or I have to eat a long time before a workout, but I have found that for me, post workout nutrition is super important for both strength and endurance. And so that would be for strength and endurance athletes. Like I said, I think we need to do a separate podcast on that, because a lot of people are like, well, what should I eat before a workout? What should I eat after a workout?
Right. What time? What's the time frame? Yeah, we'll definitely
Right.
cover that.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then what else?
All right, next one is hydrate properly. I think the rule of thumb is usually about half your body weight in water per day.
In ounces, yeah.
Yeah, in ounces. Well, yeah. I gotta drink 128 pounds of water.
Yeah.
That'd be ridiculous. But so when we're talking about hydrating properly, you definitely want to hydrate before your workout, throughout the day, and during your workout. So if you're doing a bike ride, a jog, a heavy training session, you're spending all that energy, all that water, you definitely want to replace what you've gotten rid of through sweating and replenish that during your workout or just right soon after. All right. Let's see. Use smart supplementation strategies. So I'm going to talk to the health coach because I have no idea what this is.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm not going to go into supplementation strategies because that, that could take all day. And that's really based a lot on opinion of the health coach. But if you are, if you're an athlete and you're working out a lot, you definitely should probably be supplementing. But, find somebody who can help you supplement smartly. And again, you'll be better off for that.
Smartly, huh? All right, so we're talking about things that'll help you recover after workout. We talked about hydration, all that fun stuff. Now, how do we recover faster after this workout? So cold showers is going to be number one. I hate them.
Really?
Okay, well let me put it this way. If I get in when it's cold, right off the bat, it's like
difficult.
It's difficult. So I usually start hot and then I can go colder, but not like ice cold, and it feels fine. But if I'm just jumping right away into a cold shower, it's terrible.
Well, you've seen like the athletes on TV, they have the ice bath set up. I mean, they do that for a reason. That's a recovery strategy that they use to decrease inflammation in their body after hard workouts or, a hard when they've been actually competing. And so like it sounds like what you were doing was probably cold, hot contrast showers, which that's a thing.
I have no idea. All I know is I do cold showers, but I'm not doing it right after. No, I will wait till it's nice and warm.
I can't do them in the winter because like I'm already cold all the time. But in the summer, I can do cold
just go
showers.
roll around your yard. You'll be fine. You'll be freezing.
Right.
Yeah, you'll be freezing.
So we talked a little bit already about post-workout nutrition. Like I said, we could do a whole other podcast, and we might just do that. Hydration we talked about. Also, massage. So there's self-massage tools like foam rollers. I have something called a Theragun, which is freaking awesome, which is an automated thing that just like pounds on your muscles so hard. It's great. Or you can go get a sports massage. So those things are really great. There's also lymphatic drainage massage. My massage therapist actually will do that if you, and it just helps move fluid around your body. Sauna. And so TJ, like right now, because it's so freaking hot upstairs in my house, I don't have air conditioning here.
Oh, this is not bad.
So this is, I'm helping you out here though. It's like being in a
if
sauna.
I want to get a sauna, I literally just shut the door to my bathroom and turn the water on. And
Steam sauna.
And you're just like, we did that for Levi when he was like dealing with mucus. And we did that for you go in there for like 5 minutes. Yeah.
Right.
And so we have stretching. Stretching is a huge one. I neglectfully don't like to stretch that much, but I have put it in my routines in the morning to start stretching.
Have you?
Yeah.
I don't like stretching either. I much prefer foam rolling or using like the lacrosse balls and stuff like that.
I want to be like, I'll ask Johanna, be like, give me a Theragun because then I want to stretch. I'll just punch myself.
Oh, this thing is awesome. We should do it. We should do a video podcast.
We just do the whole podcast with you pounding it on your back so you're just, everybody. Yeah, that'd be great. Sounds like a good job.
And then I think the last one is, so this is something that I've incorporated into my weightlifting workouts, and also my interval training workouts. All right. So one of the things I've incorporated into my training, so after I've done an intense workout, whether it be weight training or interval training, I do deep breathing right after my workout. And what I'll do is I'll lay on the floor, my back is on the floor, and I'll put my legs up on a bench, or I'll even put my feet up the wall, which is a yoga pose. But I'll take about 15 deep belly breaths. And what that does is it brings the stress hormones down, because when you're exercising, that's a stress on your body. And since I tend to be a type A, if you can't tell by how fast I talk, I tend to be a type A, go, go, go all the time. I need a lot of stress reducing type of things in my life. And after an intense workout, I need to bring myself back down. And so if you tend to be that type of person and you're overtraining, this is something that can really help you. So I think that sort of covers the things that you can do to avoid overtraining. But what about if you've read, or if you listened to our last podcast and where we went through the 17 different symptoms or signs of overtraining, and now you realize that you're already sort of headed down that overtraining road? We're going to go through a few things that you can do to maybe turn the tide for yourself. So the first thing, just like TJ did last week, is take a break, right? Like, take a real break.
It sucked. Not really. I had so much ice cream. It was ridiculous. I was like, oh, guess what I'm going to have this morning? Ice cream. What am I going to have later? Ice cream and pizza.
I think you need, I think
I
you
did
need
eat other
both.
stuff.
I think you need both well, I know you were posting all your food. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you actually did really well. At least I think you did.
Because I'm awesome. It's okay.
Right. So you need to take a real break, though, and I think this is both mental and physical. You need to take a break from your workouts. It's the only way to stop overtraining in its tracks. If you're overtraining, you cannot continue to train and expect your body to repair and get better. So you don't have to go all couch potato, but you should give yourself a solid week of rest. And WebMD recommends at least a week of rest and up to 4 weeks. So that would mean no long distance cardio, no high intensity interval training work, no heavy lifting. I think you get the point there. So what else?
So we definitely want to make the most of the break by focus on recovery.
So what did you do, TJ, during your recovery week?
Sat on the couch and watched TV. No, I did some foam rolling. I probably did more stretching in a week watching The Bachelorette with my wife than I ever did.
That's one of my guilty pleasure shows too.
I hate that show. I was just like, all right, I will foam roll the whole show, and I'm like rolling and I'm doing all my stuff, and I get through all the body parts. I'm like, how much time was that? 15 minutes. I'm done. I'm sore.
Nice.
I'm good. But yeah, foam rolling was one of them. Walking. I did a little bit of walking. I didn't do too much. I do not do yoga.
But the gentle yoga, right, is something that you could do.
Right. Stretching, we already kind of talked about. Meditation, massage, things that just going to promote that overall muscle recovery.
Did Johanna give you a massage?
No.
For your
No. Her hands are too small. She doesn't have that like force.
Right.
It's like, give me a back scratch and it's like super light, or like, yeah, give me a massage. I can't feel anything.
I'll have to let you borrow the Theragun.
Yeah.
She'll
like that. She'll use it on certain areas. Yeah, that'd be great. All right, so sleep, and I think more sleep is going to be great on your cells, tissues, and muscles. While you are sleeping, they're getting repaired. So make it a point to get as much sleep as possible during your rest break. I think I got probably about 8 or 9 hours a night.
Yeah.
I went to bed early. I mean, I think I went to bed at like 10, but I think I slept till like 7 o'clock almost every day.
Right.
And that's a lot longer than I usually did.
Right. I mean, the whole point of taking time off and taking a rest week is not to, make you feel bad about yourself. It's not to, like go off the rails and say, I'm going to eat everything that I want to, and I'm just going to, I'm going to live it up. The whole idea is to assist your body in the cellular, the tissue repair, the muscular repair that it needs, so that you can go back into your training program stronger, and again, hopefully smarter. You can, if you're overtraining, you can adjust some things for your training schedule. But the next thing that you can do is increase your calorie intake. So a lot of athletes, there's a pressure for most athletes to look a certain way, especially depending on the sport. So if you've been operating in a calorie deficit and also exercising a lot, your metabolism is probably suffering. So bumping your calories up by 300 to 500 per day to boost your metabolism and aid in your recovery is going to be a good thing. And honestly, the most that you're probably going to gain some water weight. Like TJ, I know you said you gained water weight because you were going from keto, which is no carbs,
Mm-hmm.
to, eating more
All
carbs.
of the carbs.
Right, all the carbs. And that makes your body hold water.
Yeah, I think I gained 14, 15 pounds.
Right.
Within
And
about 2
that's
weeks.
really typical. But that goes away quickly when you get back on track. The most you're going to gain, unless you are binging, the most you're going to gain during a recovery week is about a pound of fat. And in the long term, that's not going to make a huge difference. And like I said, it's so worth it to let your body recover by increasing your calorie intake if you've been under eating. And again, if you're an athlete and you're under eating, you probably know who you are.
Okay. So she just touched on it. Eat some carbs. Eat some
Eat some effing
F
carbs.
@ percentage ing carbs. Right? Make sure it's mostly healthy carbs. I think I didn't eat potatoes. I had some fruit, some whole grains like Ezekiel bread, some jasmine rice because jasmine rice is the bomb diggity.
Yep.
And then healthy carbs will definitely help assist your body in the recovery process. It can boost what metabolism. It can help regulate hormones. But it's okay to eat some funny carbs. What did I eat? I had licorice.
Well, and your ice cream, right?
Ice cream. I had so much ice cream.
Ice cream.
It's so
I think
good.
I saw pancakes.
I did. I think. Yeah, we went to Bob Evans one day. Had pancakes. But it's more of just having that balance where you can go off a little bit, but you don't want to be so strict where you're only eating broccoli and rice and I don't know what other.
Right. It's a physical break and it's also a mental break. So, yeah, you don't want to like just eat cupcakes because cupcakes don't equal recovery. But
Bates equals super recovery.
right.
Yeah.
But it is okay to take a little bit of a mental break too and allow yourself to have some of those things that, maybe you've been craving, like, ice cream or pizza or whatever.
Right. So stay off the scale. I did not jump on it. I didn't touch it. Didn't even look at it.
But you did get on it right after you were done with your your recovery.
Yeah,
week, right?
I think a Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
Did it freak you out?
No, I was just like, oh, okay, whatever.
Okay.
I knew it was mostly water weight.
Right.
So I wasn't too like worried. And the guys at work were like, TJ, I heard you weighed yourself. I'm like, yeah. How much did you weigh? 239. Oh my God, you gained 15 pounds of fat in a week. I'm like, you guys are idiots. That is not what it was. It's from all the carbs and sodium and everything else. So.
Right. But, the average person, I mean, shouldn't even say the average person because even athletes a lot of times will freak out if they get on the scale, even like, right, either during or after their rest week. And yeah, that scale is going to show a significant weight gain because you've been eating a little differently and you've been exercising less. Your body's going to hold more water. So it freaks people out. So one of the best things I think you can do is to stay off the scale.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. If I weighed myself the day after like 1 cup of rice and it was like 5 pounds heavier, I've been like, no, not doing this. Nope.
Right.
Nope, that's ridiculous. Not happening.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Alrighty. So
and then
what else we got?
I would say lastly, seek the help of a qualified therapist if you think you might have a problem with compulsive exercise. So let's say you are an athlete and you decide that you need to take a week or 2 off because you feel like you're overtraining and you get into the middle of the first week and you're like, I can't do this. I'm afraid I'm going to gain weight. And you feel like this overwhelming, compelling urge to exercise. You might need to seek therapy outside of just listening to a podcast. And sort of work through some of those issues because your body needs rest and but your mind is saying no, I can't stop. So it's important to keep that in mind. So if you've rested for 1 or 2 weeks and you're still experiencing symptoms of overtraining, you should probably talk to your doctor or a naturopathic practitioner. They can run more specialized tests to figure out, if your hormones are out of whack. And they may be able to customize a plan that will help you recover from advanced adrenal fatigue. And so I don't know. Do you have anything else to add to that, TJ?
No, just one thing is just like, especially when you talked about at the beginning, when you're going back into training again, your diet might not be 100%, your training might not be 100%. You're just trying to get your wheels spinning again. And it's okay just to kind of, all right, this is kind of the process, and just don't freak out, or don't be like, go off the hook. Like, you know what? I will eat whatever the hell I want, and I will not exercise anymore. So, because you just lost that momentum. So it's just be very encouraged that you can still get back into it. It's just going to take maybe probably a week of adjustment, or even if you have to set down a routine that you're going to stick to for that following week after that kind of slump week, then it's always good to do that.
Right. So I think that wraps it up for overtraining.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you in the next podcast. I think Kelly is going to be doing one live or something like that.
No, not live. I never do live.
Live.
No,
live.
Not doing live.
No, not live. It's going to be on vacation. So
it'll be a solo though.
Yeah, it's going to be solo. What are we going to talk about next week?
I think I'm going to talk about not ruining your body on vacation.
Okay, that's a great one. So not ruining your body on vacation. So that's what we're going to cover next week, and it'll be with Kelly. But until next time, guys, we'll see you later. Hey everyone, this is TJ and
Kelly
with the Initiative Project Podcast. If you like what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions you'd like us to cover, please email us at initiativepodcast@gmail.com. See you next time.